baseball fans. You're watching On Deck with Tyler Redmond.
Welcome into On Deck. I'm Tyler Redmond. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for watching On Deck. I do appreciate it. While you're here, make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell for notifications so you can stay up to date with everything going on here at On Deck and, of course, with the Atlanta Braves. And I hope you tuned in to the Atlanta Braves last night versus the Cincinnati Reds because it was a great finish, pretty good game as well for the Bravos. It got started out early, 5 runs in 3 innings, so that was a great start. Touki Toussaint looked good as he has really since he came back up. But, of course, little late inning trouble. Will Smith gives up a game-tying home run to Joey Votto, who's been hitting home runs like a madman lately, and the Braves walk it off later in the game, later in the 11th inning, by the way. Ozzie 3-run bomb to take the win for the Bravos. Kind of came out of nowhere. No one really expected. I'm sure a lot of you cut the TV off in anger and frustration. But Ozzie Albies let us go home happy. But that put the Braves in first place. They're tied with the Philadelphia Phillies. Who would have thought 2 weeks ago we'd be saying that? I think this stems directly from the trade deadline and the moves we made there. I think the Braves have a very good chance at taking first place single-handedly over the next couple of weeks because, frankly, if you look at the schedule, the Braves got the Nationals, the Marlins, and the Orioles following tonight's game with the Reds. Hopefully they sweep tonight and get off to a good start. But all respect to the Nationals, the Marlins, and the Orioles, the Nationals are unrecognizable at this point. They have one big hitter in Juan Soto. Outside of that, they're not the team they were. The Marlins are a pesky team, but I think the Braves are better than them, and the Orioles, frankly, just don't concern me, really. I think the Braves have a very good chance of making a run here. I really do. Not to say that these teams can't beat you, but when you look at these teams compared to what the Phillies have to go face here in the next week and a half or so, they got the Dodgers tonight, who have had their number so far in the series. They got the Reds, who we just are going to finish off with tonight. And then they have the Diamondbacks and the Padres. And not to say that we're worried about the Diamondbacks, because I wouldn't be if I was the Phillies, but the Padres I would be a little worried about. Not to mention they have to go face Tampa Bay right after. So the Phillies have a tough road ahead. The Braves have a bit lighter schedule going forward. I think it's going to be interesting, and I think the Braves have a really good shot at taking first place single-handedly. So keep in mind the Mets are still lingering. I don't think they're going to be the same until DeGrom gets back, if he comes back. Their offense hasn't performed to the levels it needs to. Javi Baez hasn't been what they thought he was going to be instantly, and they just haven't really performed like the Mets did early on this year. And I really thought that eventually was going to happen because a lot was riding on that pitching staff, and injuries happen and things happen, and that offense just wasn't enough to carry a team, in my opinion. I didn't think they were. And with that said, the National League East is a winnable division for the Braves, for the Phillies, for I would even say still the Mets. I think the Nationals and the Marlins are pretty much out of it, but for those 3 teams, it's, somebody said last night, it's going to be ugly, but it's going to be interesting for sure because, look, the National League East, you have a team like the Braves who are banged up. You got the Phillies who are going all in right now and on a hot streak. And then, they were on a hot streak until they met up with the Dodgers. But then you have the Mets who led the division for most of the year, at least thus far, and now they find themselves in 3rd place. So it's going to be an interesting finish. We'll see. But I really think ultimately it's going to come down to who's healthy, who has the ability to win games. And so far right now, the Braves are one of the hottest teams in this division, and I think that's going to continue based on the schedule they have ahead, based on how the offense has produced lately, and frankly, based on the starting pitching and the bullpen advancement that we made in getting Richard Rodriguez. More on that in a second. But frankly, our starting pitching's been great. Darno came back last night. That's obviously a very big deal. He's going to be a plug in the offense. A lot of you guys have been complaining about the catcher offense. Here you go. Darno's back. Let's see what happens. He did get a hit last night. He hit also a few balls on the screws that were flyouts, but I think ultimately we're going to see Darno be Travis Darno of past times. So, starting pitching, again, Huascar Ynoa's coming back. Ian Anderson's not far from being back. It's only going to get better. And maybe you see some of those guys move into, bullpen roles if spots are limited. But I think if we're going to talk about the bullpen in any capacity, we have to talk about the conversation being had about Will Smith, because Will Smith has struggled at times this year. He's been great at times this year. But I think we can all say that we're not as confident as we would be if someone else was in that spot when Will Smith comes into the ninth. Richard Rodriguez has been great since he came over. He was great with the Pirates, proven closer and proven recently. Will Smith is a proven closer too, believe it or not. Will Smith, a few years ago, was the best reliever in baseball, or at least one of the best relievers in baseball. So Will Smith has had his struggles lately. I would not mind seeing him move to the eighth inning. It's not my call. It's not your call. At the end of the day, it's the Braves' call, and they're going to do what they see fit. But I wouldn't mind seeing that. I know that when Richard Rodriguez first came over, there was conversations being had about how those two are going to coexist. Some nights you'll see Will in the eighth, sometimes you'll see Richard in the eighth. It just kind of depends. But I will say that maybe if Richard Rodriguez came in for the ninth inning last night, we wouldn't have had to go into the 11th inning and have Ozzie Albies walk it off. We would have saved some bullpen arms in the process. So I think ultimately that conversation needs to be had. I know it's being had by Braves fans all over Facebook, Twitter, wherever. I know you guys are talking about it. You guys have been in my comment section already about it, even before last night's game. And to give Will Smith some credit, Joey Votto has been the hottest he's been in about the past 3 or 4 years. So he's been hitting homers like a madman. With that said, do you pitch to him? I mean, there are conversations to be had there, but I think you have to give Will Smith a little bit of credit. I'm not patting him on the back necessarily, but I do think sometimes things just happen. They do. With that said, would that have happened if Richard Rodriguez was in the ninth? And that's the question that I think has to be asked. It is Will Smith's spot to lose. I don't know if he lost it last night. I don't know if he'll lose it if he has another bad outing. I don't know what's going to be the determining factor, but I think at some point Richard is going to take the ninth inning, and you'll see Will Smith move back probably to the eighth, I would assume, but I do think you'll see him move back. And look, it's not to say that Will Smith can't go back out there for the ninth inning. I'm not saying that at all. For the most part, he's been great this year, but he does have these instances where he's not lights out. He's not putting it away. So with that said, I think those conversations do need to be had, and if you're looking for somewhere to have that conversation, the comment section is open. So make sure you tell me what you think about the closer situation. Make sure you tell me what you think about the Ozzie Albies walk-off last night. And, of course, do you think the Braves are going to take first place single-handedly? I do, based on the schedule ahead, based on the competitors ahead, and, frankly, based on what the Phillies and the Mets have coming up. So with that out of the way, guys, we're going to get out of here. Make sure you comment down below. Let me know what you think about all this stuff. Make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and if you'll do me this favor, send this video to your friends, tell them to subscribe, especially if they're Braves fans, obviously. That helps me out a lot, gets me more fans, gets us a better community in the comment section, and of course, I can't appreciate it enough. So with that out of the way, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in On Deck. We'll see you next time right here.
Baseball fans, make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. As always, thank you for your support.